we are starting in exactly a minute here. Yeah, so we are live on YouTube. I welcome everyone. I'm still trying to get, I hope that I've been made host here so that I can share my screen. Well, not yet. I don't know how I can share my slides without being made host. So let's wait for the admin to come in and make me host. Please give us a moment there. Da, 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 da. Mm. All right. So, yeah, please get more colleagues. I see that essentially still the attendees at the moment are quite a lot from cohort 7. That's the bulk of those that we can see at this time. So thank you very much. I see an alumnus here, I believe. Mr. Aria Babala, thank you for joining in. Please share this event with your colleagues in your various organizations. It's going to be 1 hour. It's going to be interesting. And I can guarantee you that it will have tremendous impact. So you may want to share the link with your colleagues to join or anybody that you work with in the team. The event has been inspired by cohort 7 of the Nehemiah Leadership Institute. And as we speak, we are streaming online uh, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on my personal Twitter handle. We are streaming at the moment. So this will be made available there for anybody who wants to use it. I'm just waiting for host rights to be granted me, and then we'll start promptly. We are 2 minutes behind schedule at this time, and once that is done, I'm just going to make a start. Okay. While we wait, and I'm sure that in a few minutes that will be done. While we wait, what can we say about governance in Nigeria as of today? Do we look like we are heading in the right direction? Does it look like it at the moment? Anybody? Just a few minutes of discussion. Is it as tough as it was in the beginning of the year, or does it look like we turned a corner and we are headed in the direction? Anybody? Nobody wants to give an answer to that. All right, so we got 4 people on our stream platforms also joined in. Thank you. We are going to make a start shortly. Go on. I can hear you, Father Willis. Go ahead.
Well, have we really turned in a direction?
Yeah. Have we turned the corner, or is it still that tough?
Direction? Have we really turned? Well, all that we are seeing is that they are collecting money from people. Maybe you stole money, but we have not seen the money yet. They are pursuing them and collecting the money. Because if we talk about the country, then we look at the new policies and everything. So I still much to say much about this government because we have not seen any impact yet. Although it may take some time, but their promises are not coming up at all. Instead of facing the problem we are having, They are still pointing, accusing fingers. You see people rioting, you see people doing that instead of them saying, why? This what can we do for this to stop? They are accusing people who are sponsoring it. The same old story. That one will not take us anywhere. If your child is crying in the house, you have to call, you have to go, what is happening? What is wrong? What is wrong? Instead of you doing that, you are telling your wife or you're the senior ones. Why is this child crying? So all these things we need to stop if we have to move forward, face the real thing.
I agree with you 100%. I can't disagree with you. Although for matters such as this, there will be stop gaps. Okay, to say okay, short-term solutions, interventions, and then long-term. Now, this is what we'll do because I want us to start. I'll put a link in the chat. That's a link to the stream platform. I'm going to leave Zoom here, but if you use that link, then I'm in control of that. We can start. I'll put that link in the chat. So yeah, if you use that link, you will see us live, and then you will see the PowerPoint presentation, and we can start. But I'll leave this here. Those on Zoom will just not be able to see the PowerPoint. But if you use that link, you'll be able to join our stream while we wait for whoever the admin is to come and make me host. So I'll put that link in the chat. Please try and use it. And once you are here, I'll see the number increasing, and then we can start. If you have used the link, let me know. Yeah, I see Abiola Odesanya. She's logged in here. Please mute. She's logged in backstage, and I believe a few people are watching on YouTube. But Abiola Odesanya is now migrated here. So everybody else, please use that link. Somebody says it's not opening. It's definitely opening. Abiola is here.
Hello, sir. The link is not opening. I've clicked several times.
Omegaba is opening. Abiola used it too. I don't know how she's the only one. So what we can do, it's not a www link. What you can do is type it into your chat. Stephen Adetolu is also here already. Yeah. Stephen Adetolu has successfully joined in. So maybe you are not using the right letters. Yeah, Mokikon is also here. Even though it's
let me just advise, just copy it, copy it, and then paste it on your browser.
Yes, so for
people. You send it to yourself via email, and then it becomes clickable.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, quite a number of people. The governor is also here. You're welcome, man. I'm just waiting for them. Hopefully, this person would sign in and make me host. If not, we'll do it on the StreamYard. That's what I should have even done in the first place. Okay. Somebody said check the link sent to your email. Oh, thank you. Whoever did that, that's amazing. Thank you very much. Yes, the numbers are increasing. That region, the numbers are increasing. Let's give it 2 more minutes, and then we'll start at exactly 10 minutes after 9. So on that YouTube platform, you see we have a YouTube platform going on, emissions. We've got Facebook Live, and it's also being streamed on my Twitter handle. Okay. Oh no. Yeah. Stephen Adetolu. Yeah. Signing in. I'm trying to look at the link here. Brother Chinedu, the link you are sending is the Zoom, but we are migrating to StreamYard because I don't have control of this Zoom. The admin is not here, so let's not delay ourselves. Madam Deputy Governor is also here. So I'm waiting. It looks like that's all of us. Ariel Babaola, please look in the chat, use the link, and let's get on StreamYard so we can start. Ayokpo Ige, please use the link. Let's make a start. Babafemi Taiwo, thank you for joining in. Please yes, sir. Please use the StreamYard link. I typed it above in the chat. So maybe let me copy it and paste it again. It's possible that those who are just joining did not see it the first time. So we can make a start. Sister Chinwe, please use this link for us to start. I've sent it in there again. All right. So I don't want anybody to miss out on the PowerPoint slides. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm waiting. Yeah, somebody else also just joined in there. Mokikon, you may have to sign out, sign in again so that you can hear. Okay, yeah, I see you are signed in now. In actual fact, I'll leave the two. If you think you can use the two at the same time, that's fine. If not, we'll stay with the StreamYard. And yes, we are starting now. Because someone says I'm still backstage, yes, you are. If you want me to add you on stage, it's not a problem. But I'm sure you can hear me. If you want me to add you on the stage, I'll add you. Okay, so let me just add the people who are here to the stage. Although quite a number of people are not using their videos, but why not? So I've added quite a number of people to stage now. Okay. Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to switch on your video to remain on stage, because I believe we can only have 10 people on stage. Yeah, Stephen Adetolu is, so you have to have your video on. If not, there's no point being on stage if your video is not on. Thank you. So we are using our two platforms this morning. Madam Michelle Kinlo is also signed in here, but our network may not be there. No, I can see you. You have signed in there, but your internet is not good enough. So try signing it again. Try signing in again. You are showing here. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's going to be an interesting day. I can guarantee that. For those just joining in, please use the StreamYard link for us to start. I'm not a host on Zoom, so I can't share my slides there. But if you join in using this link, you'll be able to see us on StreamYard. All right. Yes, here we go. So we are going to pray because we believe in God, and we are not afraid to say that we believe in God. So yes, we are going to start by praying. Please mute. Thank you very much. Okay, says now someone is trying to enter, but the studio is full. Only 10 people can be in the studio. So I'll just remove those who don't have their videos on, so that those who have videos can get on stage. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Let us pray. Oh Lord our Father, we just want to thank you. We bless you for this time. Thank you, Holy Spirit of God, for Cohort 7 of the Nehemiah Leadership Institute. Thank you for such a time like this. We bless and adore you, Dad. Please have your way today. Give us wisdom, like you know we need it, oh God. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen.
So you find efficient team building for effective project management. Efficient team building for effective project management. And I can guarantee you, I am saying it now, distinguished attendees, that the Cohort 7 of the Nehemiah Leadership Institute helped to bring this out. Even though it was in concept since last year, we agreed, or we were planning to do this, but we didn't put it together until now. So thank you, Cohort 7, for making this happen. Like they say in the social media space, you did a thing. So you inspired the E for E Belbin Model. E for E Belbin Model. That name is original. The efficient team building for effective project management is original to us. So wherever we are teaching E for E, the Nehemiah Leadership Institute Cohort 7 will always be mentioned. All right. So who are we? Of course, Nehemiah Leadership Institute is an initiative of Team Nehemiah affiliated to the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Unashamedly so. Okay. So Team Nehemiah, when were we set up? 2010. What were we set up to do? To offer solutions to problems in the society coming from a recession, and then primarily being able to offer support to ensure that the new redemption city is by every means world standard. So yes, Zoom is back, or I'm on Zoom now. I've been made host, so I can also share my PowerPoint on Zoom. So if you want to stay on Zoom, it's fine. But we have those two platforms going on at the same time. Thank you to the one who has made me host. I believe that must be Sister Bumi. God bless you. Okay, So I'm also sharing my screen on Zoom at the moment. All right. So before we make a start, I'm going to introduce emissions to you. I'll tell you the background just so that it also inspires somebody. Now, emissions is also an initiative of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. I used to be a member of the Grace Haven Chapel, which has branches in Kent and in Brighton at the moment. But I was always online. So I when I moved to the United Kingdom, COVID struck, and then I started to join service online. But I always knew that God called me into evangelism, and that is why I started e-missions. Myself and my family, it's our way of serving God till He calls us to glory. So for the rest of us, let us ask ourselves what God will have us do. We are in Nigeria. You know what is happening at the moment. A tragedy of significant proportion just befell the country in the banking sector, and I mean, where three leading members of the family lost their lives. All right, so it brings us again to reflection. Oh, what is this world about, and what are we supposed to be doing? Whatever God has assigned to you, start now. That's what e-missions is about. So everywhere we go, whatever parish of the Redeemed Christian Church we go to, e-missions is our vehicle to preach the gospel in different places. All right, in your office, you should start being proud of calling yourself a child of God and saying that this is how we do things. So even though this is a world-class team building model, we are proud to say it has emanated from the church. So that's what e-missions is about. I'll go to the next slide and then start to talk about what we are doing today. The Belbin model. We are not the originators of the Belbin model for team building. No. What we have found is that it's useful enough to be able to help any child of God anywhere. I'm not ashamed now to say that this is who I am, okay? But when we come into a situation, we should be willing, very much so, to make a difference wherever you are. We must be willing to make a difference. And we cannot really do anything by ourselves except we equip ourselves. We cannot. And the Cohort 7 of Nehemiah Leadership Institute has started that by coming for these sessions that we have had, and we hope that we can quickly scale on them. So we will have an executive summary. This is essentially the layout that we are going to build upon. What times are we in? What times are we in? Please mute so that we can have a very interesting broadcast. The times, there are uncertainties, and I can explain them a bit, regardless of where you are all over the world. And I'll take it from the places where you call the developed nations, and I'll scale them down to the low, medium income countries. So, for example, the EU by itself, for whatever it is worth, the war in Ukraine is still going on. The war in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine is still going on. Even though it doesn't seem like it, people don't talk about it anymore in the news. I don't even get interviewed anymore about it. But the war is still going on. The country is still shut down. The invasion is still in full force. Lives are being lost. In the European Union, almost unbelievable. Russia is still bombarding Ukraine. And there's been a terror alert over this weekend that those in Russia should be careful that there's a major event that will happen this weekend in Russia, a major catastrophe in Russia. So that's happening. In the United States, I saw a movie last year where it was supposed that there will be third presidential aspirant or candidate, so that they will have the United States would have choices of who to be president. But right now, that is not the case. We have Biden, who is in his 80s. I believe Biden is 81 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And Donald Trump, my own preferred candidate, is 77. But no country should even be, I don't want to say use that word, but no country should have to be limited to those two as the choices of president. It doesn't have to happen. But that is where we are at the moment. Please mute yourself, or please, thank you. We are streaming on different platforms. Thank you. So the United States is grappling with that. Two candidates. In normal circumstances, when you're talking development, none of them should even get near. Where's Hillary Clinton? Why is she not contesting? Where's the young Ted Cruz? Those who are visionaries, who are able to cause a change. So there are uncertainties everywhere. Now you come to Africa. The Senegalese election has been postponed. Okay, that one has been postponed ever since. We still have those 5 countries who are being ruled by the military in Africa. In Nigeria, we still are grappling with economic issues. So there are uncertainties everywhere, which means that resources are limited. Even in the United Kingdom, the economy is going to go bust after the election. That's a certainty. There's nothing to patch it. So everything that's being done right now, including the budget that is being organized, which is what it is, just banding figures together, is to get votes. After the elections in May or June, there's certainly going to be elections. And then what next? The reality will hit us. So the resources are not available in Nigeria. Nigeria is receiving grains. A country with arable land all over is receiving grains from war-torn countries. Okay, where are we as children of God when we already know that God promised that the beginning may be tough, but later in the year it's going to get better? Where does this leave us as children of God? Where does this leave us as children of God? You are still thinking about your life personally and thinking God is not a man that he should lie. He's not the son of man that he should repent. As he said it, will he not do it? That's where we are as children of God, to say, no, but we know our God. And the Bible says, they that know their God shall be strong and do exploits. How do we continue to encourage ourselves? Nobody is even thinking of debt anymore, that I owe people. I owe people, and I'm not even thinking about it anymore. I've gotten to the stage where, you know what, I'm just saying, I don't know what to do. In all of this, will we be able to dream again? Will we be able to say, you know what, I am still going to press on? Will we be able to do that? So all of those issues that we have stated, uncertainty all over the world, limited resources, it makes us understand that we cannot do anything by ourselves, but go together. We cannot do anything by ourselves, go together. Now, this session will be excellent for even those in marriages. If you had issues with your spouse before now, that you fight every slight opportunity, now you know that because you need him or her, you can't fight. If you fight, you have to resolve it. Even for those who are students, we receive appraisals and you're thinking, what's the point even? What's the point in channeling all your energy and you're not getting encouraged? So how do you proceed? You have so many ideas. How do you? Because it's the choice is either to press on or to become depressed and frustrated. That's where we are all over the world. It's either you say, you know what, we are going to keep pressing on. I'm going to keep believing. But then you need people in your corner, and you'll soon find out. So I went online and investigated what interesting quotes are out there about building a team, which is what this is about anyway. What interesting quotes are out there? And I found a few. Some of them faces. This is the first time I'm going to see the face of President Truman, okay? President Harry Truman of the United States. So it's the first picture there. He's got a quote on the right, and I'm going to read it. Abedi Pele, I know. Steve Jobs, everybody know. Once we see Steve Jobs, it's Apple. Jordan, number 23, those shoes. We know Jordan. Jordan is one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest, black athletes all over the world. And I've seen a movie. I don't know if anybody has seen the movie on Jordan and how they came about designing his shoes. Please go and look for that movie. If you need me to help you find it, you can contact me later. It is an amazing story. The role his mother played, the role his father played, how they designed the shoes, how they helped Nike to come back. And for it's you don't even want to think about how much it makes from every pair of Air Jordan shoes that are designed. It's the wealthiest. It's the wealthiest black athlete. You may put Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, in that category. You may put Shaquille O'Neal, not just because they are playing basketball, but they are some of the wealthiest. But nobody comes close to Michael Jordan. But look at what he says about him. Because in situations, sometimes we believe strongly that if I go it alone, I'll be able to do this. These people are holding me down. Some people even separate from their spouses. My husband or my wife doesn't see what I'm saying. Some people are disconnected from their children, that all I want to do is just provide for them. That's all they want. But some of these quotes, as I had to sift through them to be able to appreciate them. I had to sift through. There were 61 from that site, but I sift the ones that I thought were most important. And now listen to what Steve Jobs has to say. Great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. So what you are doing, is it a great thing? If it's great, if your dream is great, then you can't do it alone. You have to do it in a team. It's not one person. Steve Jobs says that. Again, somebody who was very wealthy before he died. Secondly, the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. This happened in my own marriage. And I have come to the point, do you know, you have colleagues at work, they don't talk. But if you pay attention, you hear what they are not saying. So when somebody talks to me, sometimes I say, I hear what you are not saying, because they are possibly not saying everything out of respect, deference, fear, or out of trying to curry your favor. My ears hear what people are not saying now. I hear them a lot. And again, this is faith-based. The Holy Spirit will help you to hear when you are keeping quiet to listen. Then the Holy Spirit will be telling you what is not being said out. You say you can sense it, and then you can plan appropriately. There are people who should help you. They don't want to help you because they don't like you, but they know that they should help you. You will soon find out that you have to go after those people, and there's a way of going after them. I am in that situation. I'm in several associations. It's the same thing when, for example, you are sending tweets, you are doing this, and people are not responding. You are inviting people for things, they are not responding. Yes, it's because you've not started doing what you should be doing, and you'll soon find out. Okay? Another quote, an author says, it's better to have a great team than a team of greats. If you watch football, for me, I think that's Liverpool. Liverpool is a team. Even those in the academy, they will beat us again and again and again. And there we are as Chelsea, we are buying players for 100 million. One player, 100 million. And yet we are not past the 10th position we were. We are even in 11th position now, since 2 seasons ago. If you look at the outlay for Pep Guardiola in Man City, they don't spend a lot on players. They don't spend as much as Chelsea spends, but he builds a team. So it's important. Don't think, oh, this person knows how to. Go and look at Lionel Messi in United States. His team loses well, even when he's playing, because he's the only great person there. But if they start to develop other team members, then there is possibly going to be something better. It's the same thing we bought Fernando Torres from Liverpool. Fernando Torres from Liverpool, who was a prolific striker, and at Chelsea he struggled in the beginning, because you are good does not mean your team will be good. It's better to have a good team than have great individuals. Okay, and then of course talent wins game, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. That's what Michael Jordan said. Someone who is talented, he said, well, we win game, but how do you win championships? And that is true. I follow basketball a bit, and then if you look at Golden State, which is my preferred team, for a very long time they were winning because they had team members who knew what they needed to do, so they could win championship. Whereas there are teams that they just will win games. That's all they can do because they have individuals who are good, who could win games. But when you have a team of good people, then you can win the championship. Championship is far greater than just winning games. That was what Michael Jordan was saying. And then Brazilian Pele, who died, I think last year or 2 years ago. This is what he had to say. No individual can win a game by himself. No individual can win a game by himself. That's what Pele says. Possibly the greatest footballer who ever lived. And then another soccer player says, I've never scored a goal in my life without getting a pass from someone else. And we don't understand it. I don't know why oftentimes those who win Ballon d'Or, must be goal scorers. It's been a long time you find, even I don't think a goalkeeper has ever won Ballon d'Or. Maybe Oliver Kahn, maybe, but I doubt it. FIFA World Best Player, it will always go to somebody who scores. But we forget that they are midfielders who ensure that the striker gets the ball. And Inada scores that many goals because he receives passes from Kevin De Bruyne, from Foden. That's why he will score. From Alvarez. A leader takes people where they want to go. This one is important, especially for those of us from developing countries. A leader takes people where they want to go. Listen to that. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be. That is the mark of a great leader. There's a difference between a leader and a great leader. People don't want to go where they need to be. And it's the same thing in many of our countries. That's possibly who Trump is. Everybody may not agree about where the United States should be, but he says, make America great again. That's where they ought to be. You cannot help everybody else if you have not yet helped yourself. So you have, as a great leader, you must develop your own discipline to the point where you can carry everybody along, even where they don't need to be. It means that you have to convince them, you have to build them. And then, of course, Truman, well, that was Rosalind Carter who made that quote. That's the wife of a former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, I believe. And then finally, he says, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. That was from Truman. You find the infighting in teams would almost always be because people are thinking who will get the credit. Some other people will say, you know what, I don't care. I don't care really. Even if the person gets the credit, I'm not interested in doing the job. Why must it be that we must be thinking of who gets the credit before we get the job done? That we should reflect on. Oftentimes, people even steal the credit for other people. Somebody has done the job. You won't agree. You won't say to the people who need to hear that this was the person who did it. It destroys the team. And I'm going to share a video of what the Belbin model itself is now. I'm going to share for those on Zoom. I'm going to start that immediately. And we have it also queued for those on StreamYard, okay? So I'm going to stop sharing the slides at this point. We'll watch that video, but take note of that. What does it matter who gets the credit? All we need to do is get the job done. And it's helped me over time. It's the reason why I built the relationships that God used for me in the past. I'll always stay in the background, but I'll get the job done. Let somebody else go and present it. There's a time to stand back for other people to be appreciated. And there are also times that you have to say, well, to receive the accolades that you've been able to do this. So I'm going to share the video of what the Belbin model is about itself. Please hold on. It's a very short video, so we have to pay attention so we don't miss out on it. Yeah, so I've queued it for those on Twitter. Let me also share it here for colleagues on Zoom. All right. Looks like I have it. Yeah, here we go. So please let's focus so we can get it.
Today is the day you begin a new project. How can you turn this cast of characters into a well-oiled machine? How can you determine how they'll approach their work? And how can you identify their strengths and weaknesses? Today is the day you begin a new project and you've got a new team. But how can you turn this cast of characters into a well-oiled machine? How can you determine how they'll approach their work, and how can you identify their strengths and weaknesses? To answer these questions, Meredith Belbin developed a model to assess how individuals behave in a team. The model describes how each role comes with various strengths and weaknesses which can affect the productivity of a team. Belbin says that an effective team requires all 9 roles to be fulfilled. However, this does not mean that a team always requires 9 people. Most people fulfill 2 or 3 roles that can either be preferred, manageable, or least preferred, all of which should be taken into consideration when forming a team. Let's dive deeper into the model. Belbin's team roles can be grouped into 3 distinct orientations. They are action-oriented roles, thinking roles, and social-oriented roles. Action-oriented roles focus on team improvement, putting ideas into action, and completing tasks. Shapers, implementers, and completer finishers fit into this orientation. Shapers are dynamic individuals who enjoy questioning norms, invigorating others, and problem solving. However, they may be easily provoked and abrasive when communicating with others. An implementer's strength is that they like to take their colleagues' ideas and put it into action. They are usually efficient, organized, reliable, and practical. However, they may be slightly inflexible and close-minded at times. A completer finisher likes to make sure that every detail in the project is just right. Their allowable weaknesses include being excessively worried and that they can be reluctant to delegate tasks. Thinking-oriented roles focus on providing technical expertise and analysis. Plants, monitor evaluators, and specialists fit into this orientation. The plant provides creative solutions and innovative ideas. However, they may have the tendency to ignore incidentals and have a lack of motivation to carry out their brilliant ideas. Monitor evaluators add to the team by being logical observers. They're great at judging options fairly and accurately, but at times they can be uninspiring and overly critical. The specialist contributes by being especially knowledgeable in a particular area. A downside to that might be that they can only contribute on a narrow front and that they may dwell on technicalities. Social-oriented roles bring ideas and people together. Coordinators, team workers, and resource investigators fit into this orientation. The coordinator is an asset as they have the ability to clearly visualize goals. They make great leaders and are excellent with task delegation. However, they may be seen as manipulative and work-shy because they may sometimes offload their share of the work. The team worker helps the team function smoothly as they are good at diffusing conflicts without confrontation. They are usually cooperative, attentive, receptive, and diplomatic. However, they can sometimes be overly avoidant of confrontation and a little indecisive. Resource investigators contribute to the team by being explorative, outgoing, and enthusiastic. They like to explore opportunities and develop contacts. However, they can sometimes be overly optimistic and can lose interest in projects quickly. In summary, Belbin's model can help to better understand your team's dynamic and utilize every individual's strengths while managing their weaknesses. This can bring your team a step closer to realizing their full potential.
on them. All right, so we are back and the presentation will continue. The link to this Belbin video is already on the slide and everyone will receive the slide. So you can go back and look at it as much as you want. So we are back on our PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the Belbin model, we have three, is broadly categorized into three. We have it in the slides, but you can, if you want to write, it's fine. Now we've got the action-oriented, we've got the thinking-oriented, and we've got the social-oriented. The first thing that I would like to inform us about is that you can be categorized under more than one of these models. You don't have to be action-oriented alone. There are 9 roles, 3 for each of them. For action-oriented, we have the shapers, we have the implementers, we have the complete finishers. For the thinking model, we have the plans, the monitor, evaluator, the specialists. And then we also have, for social, the coordinators, team workers, and resource investigator. I hope that you can hear me. I'm hearing somebody say something. It's all well. Please mute. I'm sure you can hear me. Please mute your device. So, as I was saying, the roles are broadly categorized into 3. The action-oriented, the thinking, and the social-oriented. And I'm going to discuss them briefly. Who are the shapers? The shapers are those who plan. We have a project to execute. How do we go about it? With my interaction with cohort 7, I can say I have an idea of some of the shapers in that collegiate, if you like. Action-oriented, they are able to put the vision down into something that can be seen. And we are going to use a few Bible references, but we'll try and do that sometime later. The shapers, they do the action. What needs to be done? The shapers determine that. We have the implementers. The implementers take it from concept to doing. They're action-oriented. They are the people who support the boss and say, in my local language, Oga, what needs to be done? Those are the implementers. You give them the instructions, they are running with it. They are the implementers. Now, the complete finishers. The complete finishers are those that carry the job to conclusion. Not everybody has that talent, let me put it that way, to be able to carry anything to conclusion. You may find people coming out in the beginning, they are doing well, but sometimes later they get tired. All of this, as you have seen in the video, also have their strengths and their weaknesses. Now, there are people that all they know how to do in a team is to think. Somebody who is able to think, you can't also say that the person should be able to implement. In fact, industrialization came through these phases. We got to Schumpeter era where there was division of labor. There are those that all they can do is think. They are in business development, they are in marketing. That's where they can be. Think. They are the ones who plan the budgets. They are the ones who plan the deliverables. It may be unfortunate, it may be unkind of you to also expect these people to be the ones to implement. All they know is to be able to think. Most CEOs, that's who they are. And these people are plants. They are able to conceptualize from their thoughts. They are able to look at the targets. Are we where we need to be? I can tell you, distinguished colleagues, many people don't have the thinking people in their establishments or in their team. They don't have. We said we were going to deliver this. Are we delivering it? People don't even like them. If they say, oh, we said we are going to do this, but we've not done it, they'll say that person is, again, in my local parlance, the person will holler too much. What is it? To be successful, you have to do holler. Who checks at the beginning of the year? We're in the beginning, which is why this is very important. God just wanted it to happen and he brought it in the beginning of the year. What is the target of the family for the year? Who is going to check and say, are we where we said we are going to be? What is the target for the children at school? Are they where we said they will be? These are the monitor evaluators. Many people don't have. The people who do ethics, the people who do risk assessment, these are the people we are talking about. This thing that we said we want to do, have we thought about it like this? Are we evaluating it? Are we checking it? And then the specialist. Again, oftentimes than not, we fail to realize that any successful budget or project implementation requires those who have the technical know-how. We don't do it. We just say, oh, the person who is accountant, that's the same person that will be this, that's the same person that will be that. While it is good for people to have the knowledge, it is unfair also to think that someone who doesn't have the technical expertise for something should do it. But it happens a lot. That's why a nurse will do the work of the doctor in some countries. And then they'll say, oh, the nurse is treating the person at home. What? Do you think have you asked for the training they give nurses? The training they give them is to support doctors. It's not to be doctors. Oh, but say, oh, training is at home and then the person is treating. When I hear that thing, I'm so scared. They say, oh, nurse came to administer drip. My God. Social. This is another critical category. Those who are social. Distinguished colleagues, if you are not social, you will not get anybody patronizing you. And this is not about you as an individual. This is about you in a team. As children of God, sometimes we limit ourselves. Do you know how social David was? We'll get there. How social David was. I just spoke about somebody. I don't want to make it about what's happening in Nigeria at the moment. But the only thing everybody was saying about Wigwe is that he knew people who connect people. He did this to this. He did this. He was sociable. Even in church, you can be sociable for the right reasons, of course. Somebody knows you because you stood there. Somebody because you did this. Somebody did this because you did this. And who are those who must have this trait? The coordinators. You want to lead a team and you are not sociable. You should not be the one leading that team. You are not able to listen to people to say, oh, how is it going with you? The present president of Nigeria, good or bad, is a very sociable person. Sociable to the extent that they were giving him chieftaincies all over. He knew what he wanted to do. I'm not talking good or bad now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking efficient. You're sociable, able to coordinate, team workers. Because you can't work in a team. That's why you hear team bonding, you hear people are going for a retreat and all of that. Team workers, they fall into that class. They require that. The resource investigator, I saw a reflection of that in cohort 7. A few people acted like resource investigator. If you want to get anything done, even if you sit in your house and you're conducting desk research, it is important that you know the duties that come with being a resource investigator. Not everybody is a resource investigator. Not everybody likes to do it. Not everybody likes to conduct research. So those are the 3 broad categories, 3 in each class. The shapers, implementers, complete finishers, those are your action people. The thinking people, the plans, the monitor, evaluator, and specialists. Those are the ones who think. That's all they do. The social category, the coordinators, because they move around. The resource investigator, because they go out there to get information. And the team workers, because amongst themselves, they have to foster a good relationship. Now we move on to the next slide. You can't even start to say you want to have a project or you want to have a team when you have not reflected on some questions. Again, that is original. We call it the WH questions. Have you asked yourself some questions? Honestly, brethren, if the Bible says that we've stayed there for too long, it's because we are not doing something different. Have you asked yourself these questions? The first of, who are you? It's all right for people not to like you as long as you know who you are. It's okay. It's not a problem for people not to like you. Because if people don't like you, that means you are not where you need to be and you're not doing what you need to do. Joseph wasn't liked when he wasn't liked by his family. He wasn't liked when he got into Egypt, but he still attained greatness. So that people don't like you does not mean you won't attain greatness. But you must identify who you are. Joseph decided by himself that, you know what, I'm not going to sin against God. I can't, right now, brethren, I believe Joseph was not the first person that the Potiphar's wife spoke to. She must have been doing it with other servants. But Joseph said, okay, even if our master Potiphar deserves this thing, he says, but for me, that I do this and sin against God, that wasn't the first time that Joseph will see it happen. That's why I said, that I do this and sin against God. Yes, everybody else is doing it. It's the same thing. I was speaking with somebody yesterday, somebody that I'm trying so much to help in business, a woman with about 4 or 5 children, husbands left home and all of that. And when I was talking to her, she said somebody gave her an idea and somebody already said that in the place where they live, they can connect her lights directly and she will use it for commercial purposes. She will not be paying the bills. I said, can you go to church on Sunday and say, let somebody shout hallelujah? Do you know I've started a new business? I'm connected directly to the thing. I'm not paying bills. And she was still arguing with me. Because as far as they are concerned in their own environment, it is normal. It's normal not to even find out if you are paying taxes. It's normal to eat and drop the thing. Just picking trash. Just ensuring your environment is clean. People don't care. It's normal to put something down and steal it. Do you know there are countries where they don't lock their stores? They don't lock the stores. In South Korea, in Singapore, they don't lock the stores. They don't lock the stores. Do you know what that means? Even in church, we will announce that, please take care of your phone. Meanwhile, in some educational institutions, if you lose something, somebody will show you ask that somebody left their phone. There's places where you cannot leave your phone. Who are you? The fact that people are doing the same thing, does it mean you should do it and then you want your team to be different? You want to attain greatness? It's not possible. Where are you at this time of your life? Where are you? It has nothing to do with age, but it's something to think about if you want the push. At this time of your life, where are you? Where are you? Can also be, in what environment are you? In what environment have you found yourself? How do all of this impact you as an individual? My personal story, I never lived as a bachelor. But it seemed as though that I was always failing. Because I was very comfortable living in my parents' house, and then my friends would say, oh, you can't move forward. You are still living in the house. You cannot move forward. Come out, come and live with us. Every opportunity. And I'm saying, I knew who I was, and I knew that I have a problem with the opposite sex as soon as I start to live alone. One of my friends forced me. I moved out severally. I stayed with my boss. I think before that, I lived with somebody. He just said, I should move in. I shouldn't worry. He has an apartment in Bagada. It's 3 rooms. I should come. Me, I be a bad boy. I carry my things. I go to Bagada, thinking that I'm offering the guy company. The next thing, if we have to do anything in the house, he'll be sending me text. If my friend from university will say, we need to buy fuel in the generator. We need to. I don't care for those things. I was very content where I was. The day he wanted me to move out, his text message he used to send me out. One day, publicly, I'll call him out. I'll say, you remember that his text message you used? He just sent me the text. I carry my thing. I got back home. My mother thought, oh, this boy has failed again. I went to live with my boss in Lekki. I was working at Obalende, living in Lekki Phase 1, attending church at Civic Towers. My life was set. I learned big boy. And then I just thought, if I continue to live like this, I'm not going to go far in my life. I carried my load again, went back home. But I got married, and I got married well. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, and where I am. So where are you in your life at the moment? Where are you? Look around you. The size of your parish does not mean that you are moving forward, either as a pastor or as a church member. Some of us need to go to small churches, small community churches, to be able to move forward, to be able to shine. You struggle, this marriage, I must go. You struggle in business. There was an employment I got. I had my own office at Oluwalogbon House in Alausa behind Coca-Cola. I had the whole floor to myself, my office, and I had staff I was paying. Then there was a law office in Dolphin Estate that said, oh, I should come. They think I'm very good. They're going to pay me salaries, buy me a car, rent a house for me in Yaba. Of course, for somebody who wasn't married, you think, oh, that's good. But I left my house at 5:15 in the morning. Guess when I got to Alausa? I got to Alausa at 7 o'clock. It was at Alausa. No, before I got to Alausa, I just sent a text. I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. So sometimes we take ourselves into slavery by our own actions. Some of us have been enslaved in churches. You've been enslaved in your office. Some of you are afraid to go out and do what you know God has called you to do. So where are you at this moment? I can't say that enough. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? At the moment I'm conducting research, I'm almost certain that I won't lecture. I don't think that my full career will be lecturing. I don't know. I doubt it. Where do I want to be? I'd rather do this. I'd rather do this privately by myself. I'd rather do this, make money from somewhere, and then do this. What is the whole essence of life? You've got billions, you've got houses, and then what? What's the whole essence? The Bible says it was Solomon who had everything. He said the whole essence of life in Ecclesiastes, I cited it in the court case, is for a man, get married, eat, and enjoy your wife. Solomon said that's the only thing in life. If you doubt me, put it in the chat. I will answer. I will find the scripture for you. I've cited it before. It's in the book of Ecclesiastes. In fact, let me look for it, just so you don't doubt me. Solomon, who was the wisest that has ever lived, he said, what's the whole essence of life? And I'm going to show you now. Solomon said, what's the whole essence of life? Enjoy your wife. Solomon said, enjoy your wife and eat. That's all. He said, then he now said that whatever you acquire, when you die, you don't know what becomes of them. He says, no, he said somebody else will eat them. Solomon said, enjoy your wife. Please, can you mute? Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. That's it. It says, enjoy life with your wife, whom you love, all the days of this meaningless life that God has given you under the sun. All your meaningless days, for this is your lot in life, and in your toilsome labor under the sun. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 9. So today, somebody reached out to me a few days ago and said, oh, he has problems with his wife and this and that. She's reported him at the police station. I said, you people have a child. You better go and resolve your issues. Don't think about hiring a lawyer. Whatever that woman wants, give her. You don't even have time to raise a child. Give her. When God blesses you and you reach your place of rest, you can renegotiate the marriage. But right now, and it's the same thing for many of us, follow peace once you know where you are going, but you must see where you are going. What do I need to get there? This is an important one. Again, I'm family oriented, I'm God oriented. I said to my wife, you say, oh, she loves peace. I tell her, you work for peace. She says, oh, she wants to be comfortable and all that. I said, you work to be comfortable. It doesn't happen by accident. What do you need to get there? I don't want to work every day. I don't want to go to work every day. What do I need to get there? It means I must have a skill or a product that is making money for me at home. So when everybody is looking for a job, if I'm looking for a job, I know that the job is short-term or the job is something that I'm doing from home. That's what I want to do. So what do I need to do? I need to get a product. I need to get a service that I'm just operating from home. What do you need to get to where you need to be? What kind of money do you need to get there? And then I put it there, the last question, who do I need to get there? That's an important one. They are building a team and you people say, oh, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to do. Then you must identify what skills, then who does what, who will do this. A recent knowledge that I've come to is the fact that this year is transactional. Do you know I can now boldly call some people and they will answer because they know they need me. People that I couldn't call before. I can now boldly call people and say, you know what? Some of us don't even understand. It's a good thing to pray, but we don't act it. Daddy Joe surrounded himself with academics when they started, the Aboabas, the Lakunrins, and all of that, the Iweris. Brilliant people. Of course, the ministry was going to take off well because he surrounded himself with those who will help him get to where he had already envisioned he would be. Look at what they do with Sunday school, with open heavens and all of that. Who do you need? At some point, I'm from Alimosho local government. I'm going to be needing all those boys selling spare parts. So I better go and look for what I will give them that will make them line up behind me. Who do you need to get to where you need to be? Enough said for that. Let's move to the next slide. Now, this is someone we know very well. That's Tony Cole. And I learned something else from him this year. Just this year. He said something, and I put the code there. He says, you have ideas. Without the plan, they will fail. Ideas are not enough. Ideas, never. I'm telling you, brethren, many of us have ideas, but we are still where we are because we don't even recognize the vision. What is the vision? What is it you are building a team for? Daddy Joe was intentional when they started model parishes. He knew what he wanted. And he harnessed all of those resources, using them well, because he knew where they needed to be. Christ Apostolic Church will never go near a club because I've been a member there. But Daddy Joe will go near a club to use that club for church. Vision. Vision. What do you see? What do you see? If you people decide, I'm in the process of writing at least one paper now. In the end, I rushed the paper because I was doing a lot of things at the same time. But now, getting feedback from people, I knew that the paper wasn't up to scratch. And I'm not even going to rush to go back to that paper. The next time I'm going, I'm following its trajectory, I'm knocking it together, and I'm believing that I've done my best. So some people call it SMART. This SMART, they will say specific. Do you have specific goals? What are the goals? Can you measure them that by this time I would have done this, by this time I would have done this? Are they achievable? All things are possible for those who believe, but we must plan. I have an idea, and I know for a fact that idea cannot get off the ground until 2030. Meanwhile, this was an idea I had since 2012. But I know that it can't get off the ground till 2030. That's 18 years. Even God plans. There was a time David was anointed. There was another time he needed to go and be equipped before he became king. So don't despair. But for a few people, the day you have the idea, if it's not happening, that's who I used to be. If it's not happening in 5 days, I leave it. Resilience must come there. Achievable means that you must be resilient. The goal you are talking about, how relevant is it? This goal that I am incubating is not relevant at this moment. People don't care for it yet. There will come a time, somebody, I know the country that will care for it, because they will come into that knowledge and they will proudly hold on to it. Whatever you people want to do, even in your team, is irrelevant. Is somebody looking for that solution at the moment? You can do a lot of excellent things. If it's not relevant, nobody looks at you. Time-based, this one is critical. And always work ahead of time. Time-based, by so time we want to achieve it, but always work ahead of time. Don't rush till the end. If you are rushing till the end, then be ready to stretch the time to say, well, you know what, we have where we found ourselves, we are not rushing it anymore, so let's stretch it. And I put in there the idea to repair the walls of Jerusalem. If you want, we can go and read the book of Nehemiah, and you see the different things Nehemiah did. Even when he had a good idea, he had challenges. Do you know till the end? In the end, Nehemiah handed over everybody to God and said, God, you know that I've done my best. I hand them over to God. After they finished building the walls, then the human being in them came out. They started to bring people who should not occupy the temple, and they were apportioning privately. It's not today it started. This thing that looks like theft and corruption. And then Nehemiah had to discipline them and said, you know what, God, I can't stay back here. I have done what I have done. Judge me. So you must be able, your goals, whatever your team, whether you want to introduce a product, you want to introduce an idea in church, they must meet these standards. Minimum. The idea is not enough. Without a plan, it will fail. All right, so that accounts for phase 2. I can do a quick recap. Phase 1 was yourself, self-reflections and questions. Ask yourself questions. Phase 2 was identifying the goal. Where are we going? Phase 3 is now putting the team together. Who do you need? For me, for e-missions, I need each of my children. One of them, I was tired, got back home yesterday, and it's Mother's Day this Sunday. She said she wanted to do PowerPoint. And I'm thinking, that's all I did all day. I'm going to come back home and sit down with you to do PowerPoint while I was trying to watch a movie. I did support her. She came out with something excellent, but my head was banging. But I know that she has a role to play in e-mission, so I sat with her to do it. And I was thinking, I have to be the best parent that I can be. Now you want to put your team together. Some of us need to reflect this in our homes. Your home is a team. Your family is a team. Who is doing what? You find, you say, in the United Kingdom, they'll say the Asians, the Indians, the Chinese, they are prospering, they are flourishing. It's because they identified how to put themselves together in a team. You say, oh, family business is Donald Trump. You think that one day he just put all of his children in the business. No, he's been incubating them. While you are identifying your team, you are bringing people together. Consider competence and character. That's the first thing there. I'm not going to dwell a lot on this. Competence is one, character is another. Both can be acquired. Somebody who wasn't competent can become competent. Somebody who did not have character can have character. But it means that the leader must be willing to lead by example. Competence and character, both are required. It is all right if your team member doesn't have it, but know that you have to build it. Competence and character. Identify competence, but build character. Because everybody is competent at something. And build according to their strength. Everybody is competent at something. I am not thorough as an individual, but if you need me to sell the thing, I will try. If you need me to think it, I will try. If you need implementation, I will be available, but I'm not thorough. So each individual has those competencies. You must identify them. You can build character and say, you know what, guys, we must always be early. I do it with my students. Start lecturing at 9. They are strolling in at 9:15. I'm going to keep abusing them till 9:30 before we even start. Warning them seriously that they shouldn't try it again. After that, then we'll start playing. I start shaking their hands. How are you doing? Where are you from? I start relating with them according to their culture. By 9:45, we are all very happy they are ready to work. Leave what you teach as a leader. Learn along the way. Many people don't think they should still learn as leaders. It's a problem. You are coordinating a team. Who says that? In fact, the reason why you are coordinating the team is that you are learning from them. The only benefit to a lecturer is that you keep getting students who will challenge you. That's the only benefit in lecturing. New knowledge. You'll be on top of new knowledge. That's the only benefit. But if you're a leader or you're in a team and you don't think you will learn, why do you think it's called a team? It's to learn from one another. It's not for you to think that I've done this before. I have this experience. That's why some people will say, do you know who I am? You are obsolete. You know why? You are obsolete. For you to have even said, do you know who I am? You are very obsolete, in fact. Teachable teacher. Teachable teachers. Are you teachable? I don't see it anywhere. It's scarce. You are the teacher, but they can't teach you. You don't allow feedbacks. You don't allow people to say, Oga, this thing that we are doing. One of my colleagues, she just lost it one day and she blasted me. I kept quiet. I call them colleagues, not because the person, we are the same age at the bar. No, I call them colleagues because I never say my junior. What's that rubbish? I'll say my colleague because you don't know the idea that colleague has. You don't know the competence that it's not even I don't know it. I always assume that everybody has a competence. So there's the lady who runs our office in Nigeria. I know her competencies. I dare not disrespect her. It's not because I can't sack her. It's not because I've not thought about sacking her severally. But I look at her competencies and think, well, we can build on this. You must be teachable. She said, this and that. I took my time. We can't both be angry at the same time. I explained to her my circumstance. Then later I showed her and said, okay, put yourself in my position. Do you think you did well? You must be teachable. Project the vision. Some people don't project the vision. Many people don't project it. Your team members don't know what they're about to achieve. They just know you are going to give them instructions. They don't know. You've not told them, this is what you are doing. This is why you are doing it. This is how we will get there. You don't tell them. You just want the gate man to open the gate. You are not telling him why you should open the gate at that time. You have not instructed your gate man to check that nobody is driving behind you before he opens the gate. And so one day he will open the gate. People will follow you in. Then you'll be angry. Did you tell him that if you see anybody driving behind me, don't open the gate? The same thing with our spouses. For me as an individual, I was in the same house praying with my wife. God, open the doors. We want to travel, open the door. Apparently, we were praying for different places. So God didn't answer for about 2 years. And we didn't realize it until one day. Me, I wanted to go to Canada. She wanted to go to United Kingdom. And we were praying in the same house. And we didn't know that we were praying for different destinations. The planning would have also even been for different destinations. Are you speaking to your spouse? Are you speaking with your team members to share the vision? And I said, not only should you even project the vision, sell the vision for a buying. Selling is not easy. To even get you people to come here, I have to try to sell. Sell. It's not give. Sell for a buying. Let the people become stakeholders and say, this thing, we've got to do it. The reason why we have large ministries is because they sell the vision. They sell it. They make us understand that without prayers, we won't move forward in our lives. They've sold it. So we will be a part. Without prayers, you can't move forward though. They've sold the thing to us now. Sell. And then I talked about David's army. I'm going to dwell on that and we are going to move forward very strongly. David's army, I will show you. When they were describing David's army, it's amazing. Different people with different capabilities. Different people with different capabilities. It's just amazing. And do you know what? Their skills were always going to get required. Their skills were always going to be required. I'm going to look for that Bible passage and read it for us immediately. Their skills were going to be required. Maybe we should try 1 Chronicles chapter 12. I'm going to run through it. 1 Chronicles chapter 12. Let's see what that says. I hope that's the right passage. 1 Chronicles chapter 12. Okay, yes. Do you know when the Bible says the sons of Issachar, they knew the signs of the times and the seasons. They were part of David's army. The sons of Issachar. They were part of David's army. So they will tell David, now is the time to camp. Now is the time to move. Now is the time. There were a few years that David needed this, but they did it right. 1 Chronicles chapter 12, it says, warriors joined David's army. The following men joined David as Ziklag while he was hiding from Saul, son of Kish, when he was nobody. They were among the warriors who fought beside David in the battle. All of them were expert archers, see qualities. We'll have another session someday, sometime. Look out for it. Maybe on Nehemiah, NLI, or maybe just emissions to describe David's army. All of them were expert archers, number one. They could shoot arrows or sling stones with their left hand as well as their right. Aren't those people the ones we call ambideros or something? They were able to use both hands. Can you imagine? See skill. You want to build a team. You don't identify who will do what. David identified, I will need people who can use both hands. They were all relatives of Saul from the tribe of Benjamin. Can you imagine that? This was how Benjamin lost. In the last elections, the President Tinubu would have lost because Peter Obi came and won in Lagos. And they themselves said that, that they had to do everything they could for Sanwo-Olu not to win the elections. That's how. Some of us have permanent enemies. I don't have permanent enemies. I thank God I'm not able to have permanent enemies, because the person who has not delivered for you today may deliver tomorrow. The tribesmen of Saul who was fighting David. In fact, David, the son of his adversary, was his best friend. How won't David win? Are you winning over your enemies? They are disturbing us. They are disturbing us. They are disturbing us. You have to have a friend amongst them. Their leader was Ahaziah, son of Shema from Gibeah. His brother Joash was second in command. These were the other warriors: Jeziel, Pelet, sons of Amzaveh, Beraka, Jehu. He lists them. In verse 10, some brave and experienced warriors from the tribe of Gad also defected to David while he was at the stronghold in the wilderness. They were experts with both shield and spear, as fierce as lions, as swift as they on the mountains. See the skills that David was amassing. And Saul wanted to fight him in a war. Where do you see the Bible talk about the soldiers that were with Saul? Look at the skilled people. If you read further down, they talked about somebody. They said somebody was fighting with a sword, I believe, and the sword was glued to his hands. He used one sword. They said one swung the sword one time and took down many people. You can't create a team that doesn't identify the role of each individual and build around their competencies. There's a certain player in Manchester City, Rodri. When the goals have dried up from Haaland, Rodri will score. He will shoot from a distance. He's a defender, but he will shoot from it, and he's guaranteed that he's rescued them again and again. He's not the captain, but he's a team leader. Create a feedback environment. I've said that before. Sustainability. Conduct checkups on the project, not only the project, on the team members. How are you doing? Don't call people and then they'll start avoiding your calls because they know that you want to ask about work. Call people and they are thinking, what will Oga? Maybe something good is going to happen. Call people and then they'll say, Oga, why did you really call me? You say, well, I wanted to check on your welfare. A team member say, oh, I know that you want to ask about the task they gave us. And you say, no, I just want to check how you are doing. Check up on even the team members. Okay, next slide. We are now moving into phase 4. So phase 3 is putting the team together. Phase 4, and we are rounding up. And I built on phase 3, promote a sense of belonging. How to manage your team in phase 4, promote a sense of belonging. Never assume all is well. Again, I can use my marriage. One pastor came to our house and asked my wife, how are you really doing? And I was angry. What do you mean, why are you really doing? I just kept quiet. I was looking. And I thought we were in an excellent place. By the time I walked out and I came back, the pastor called me aside and started talking about the problems in the home, problems that I didn't know. Since that day, I never assumed. Never assume with your children, with your team members, oh, we are good in church, at home. Oh, we are good. They are doing the work. They arrived in church. Do you know whether tomorrow is when they want to resign? Do you know whether they are planning their lives away from you? Check up on the individuals. Never assume all is well. Promote a sense of belonging. Then how do you resolve conflicts? Do you resolve conflicts so that you are never going to go back to that person? Or do you resolve it knowing that the bitterness will only be for a short time? That's a separate topic by itself. Then there are possibilities that you have to, emergencies will arise. Then you have to reassign roles. Always plan ahead. Move team members around. Somebody may be writing and gets tired. Send that person to thinking so that for a short while, so that the person may be able to rest and put their energy to a different use. When I get tired of writing, I start thinking maybe I should go and watch something. Don't crush the individual. Don't crush individuals. Don't fight them to the point where they feel less of themselves. Even when you are fighting with them, let them understand they are the problem. And for them to understand they are the problem, that means you have to persevere. Incentivize. This one works. Give something for an achievement. If you do this, you will get this. You see people get to work. Incentivize. If you do this, you get this. It's also sometimes it's also called commendation. Then the communications is key. Another separate topic by itself. Communication includes hearing what people are not saying. Communication includes listening to people, number one, and then the essence of communication. We've done this in the regular NLI class. Are you communicating with them so that you can destroy them, so that they can feel bad? Spouses will do it a lot. Somebody says something, you want to return with something that will hurt the person. Meanwhile, the seed has been sown. The person will never forget. Why are you saying what you are saying? Reward and caution. Be able to tell people that you've not done well is what it is. We have not done well. This is the impact it will have. We can never be here again. Some of us don't do it. And I think it was John Maxwell that said it before, that if you are not a leader if you cannot punish. You are not a leader if you cannot punish. Even with parenting, then we need to continuously train ourselves. That's about team management. Then reflections. So now you have built your team. So now you are checking on them. You are managing your team. You've identified the goal. But it's important to reflect. Take stock. We're rounding up now. Take stock. What is happening? Is this working? How can we improve? Check yourself. Personally audit yourself. Even as believers, we cannot make it to heaven if you don't do these things. Cannot make it to heaven. Personal audit. See again, what can we do better? What can we do for the future? That's how to stay ahead. One of the things, as much as personally I don't like Dangote or his model, but what the first thing that I appreciated about him was Bako Super Sack, when they started to do sack for Dangote. That was even before Dangote Cement. I think that was when they were still producing flour or something. Then they bought a bagging company because they know they will always need bags. So that's a separate business. Are you looking at your business? Are you dreaming again? Are you seeing again? Okay, let's do this. This will do this. This will help us do this. This will help us do this. That's how to be successful and wealthy. Fulfilling potentials. Dream again. Be thankful. Be thankful to God. Be grateful to others. Be thankful to God. Be grateful to others. And when I put grateful up, that heart shaped came up. Be thankful to God. Don't take anything for granted. Be thankful to God. Be grateful to others. And then ensure that you are somebody who can be trusted. If your team members don't trust you, you can't make them do anything. Ensure that you can be trusted. All right. We've now come to the end, and I put these words there. And I wanted to own the word, so I put my name, I put the title that I've given myself, I put it there, the Olu of Lagos. And I am so proud of the words. I don't know them by heart, but I'm going to read them out now. I don't know them by heart, but I'm going to read them out. I just put them together. All dream, few reflect, fewer believe, few are courageous to step out. Fewer are bold to accept needing others' help. Only a handful are patient to build others. Everyone achieved the results according to choices made. Many lie about true success. Only few admit that greatness requires going together. And maybe I will even keep updating it. Because if you are going to check people who are truly, truly great, there must be people who know that greatness requires going together. There will be people who are patient to build others. They will accept that the choices we make determine the results we make. I like that. The choices we made determine the results we make. The choices. And that's the thing. That, in fact, these words, if I said them to myself, maybe my research would be turning out better. The choices you made will determine the results you make, brethren. And with that, we come to the end of this presentation. So if you have questions, if you are logged in on StreamYard, I believe that we can even get some sound if you put your questions in the chat. We may be able to get you up, or you say you want to come up to ask your questions, we are able to do that. For those on Zoom as well, if you have questions, I see, okay, somebody says communication is a paddle that steers the affairs of the team at achieving the stated Ushe. You can put that up as your quote, man. If that's your original quote, just put it there. That thus says so. All right, so do we have questions and discussions? By the way, I have a poll. So while we are waiting for the questions, let me share the poll. I'm going to figure out how we'll send them to those on the StreamYard. But on Zoom, look at this poll. You can scan the QR code and fill in the poll. Let me quickly share the poll here on Zoom, and then we can take it for those who are on StreamYard. This is, I'm looking for the poll now. I hope I find my poll. My forms. Where are my forms? I give you the title. So, okay, I see it here. Give me a moment. I'm going to share this poll, which is a self-examination poll, if you like. So you can use it to test where you are with the Belbin model and what you have now learned. What am I doing? Help me, Lord. Share. Where is my pool? Control to select. This is the poll I am looking for. I also put a link in the chat for while I try to share it. Okay. Look for poll. Give me a moment, guys. Okay. I'm going to put a link to the poll in the chat. That's what I'll do. This. Okay, so I'm going to copy the link and put it in the chat. You can fill it immediately, and then all of us will be able to see our responses. So yeah, there you go. For those on Zoom, I'll put the link in the chat. Quickly look at the poll, fill it in, and let us see where you are with that. For those on StreamYard, I'm coming to you with the poll right now. All right. So let's fill the poll. Then we can take questions and answers. And then while we are doing that, I can also advertise to you that we have a program tomorrow still for children. So I'm going to put that on the screen now. That's the next slide. It's for children on the net, and it's every Sunday evening. If you think that we need to think about our children and then help them in these times and seasons to be responsible online, then we have this going on for tomorrow. That's it there. If you scan the QR code, you may be able to register. So right there you have it. We have that going on tomorrow, children on the net. So for my folks on StreamYard, let me try to get the poll to you. And please, we'll show the results for everybody to see. So try and fill that poll. Let's try and fill that poll. I'll just give us about 3 minutes to fill it in, and then we'll take questions, and then we are done. So let's quickly look into the chart and use that link to fill the poll. Those who are on Zoom have it already. I want to put it also for.
You can't see it. You can't see it here.
Is there on Zoom? Is there in the chat? Let me see. I can send it again. Yeah, that's the form. I put it there again. Let's use the link. I'll check the results, and I'll put the results up. There are just 3 questions. Mm. 3 questions in the Zoom. So, having looked at the Belbin model, describe yourself. Now that you know about the Belbin model, and you then reflect on the teams that you have been on before, what mistakes do you think you have made going forward now? Who do you think you are at the moment? What role should you actually be playing in any team, having been able to see what the Belbin is about?
He's saying that we cannot log in with personal account for email.
I'm surprised that he's saying you cannot log in. I've not gotten any response here. Let me see about that. I may be able to adjust the setting. Hold on a minute. The accept responses, record name. Anyone can respond. Oh yeah, I see. Thank you for that feedback. So yeah, I've done the setting. You can fill it in now. So start trying. And then I'm taking the link now to our colleagues on StreamYard. There are just 3 questions. One of them is what you call options. You just pick options. Okay, so let's start getting the responses that we can share. Okay, so I'm copying the link now for my folks on StreamYard, and I'm going to paste it in the chat there. Okay, so yeah, private chat. Somebody says, where's the poll link? Yes, Mr. Mukikon, poll link coming up, sir. Yeah, there you go. I'll put it there. So let's check for the responses we have, and then we can start to discuss them as we round up. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask. And yeah. So let's see what responses have come in yet. There are just 3 questions. Who do you think you are in the team? And then also trying for you to understand what you have been able to learn, what is different about you now that you know about the Belbin model. What's different about you? How are you going to address being in a team or putting together a team going forward? Okay, fantastic. We have 1 response. Okay. Can we quickly fill? Can we quickly fill the form, please? I'll start to, in fact, I can share now. Let me try to share this screen again so you see the responses we've got. We've got 2 responses. Amazing. People are able to identify the role they need to play. So the next time you're in a team and you want to offer a responsibility, even to yourself, obligation, you'll know what to offer. So you can start looking at the screen now for those on Zoom, and you can see 7 responses. Thank you. And you can see that people are able to identify. At least we have 11% who believe that they are team workers. Others believe they are resource investigator. Those are few, and rightly so. Many believe that they are coordinator. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But as a coordinator, you must have a bit of all the 9 roles, including being a coordinator. As a coordinator, you must be a resource investigator. You must be a team worker. You must be a specialist. You must be a monitor evaluator. You must be able to plant ideas. You must have a bit of everything so that you understand the roles of everybody else. You must be a complete finisher. And it's good to see this is correct. Many of us don't finish properly. I'm praying about it, but it also requires hard work. 5%, only 5% consider themselves complete finisher. Implementer, 15% consider themselves implementer. Shaper, The shaper are many, which is good, which is a good attribute actually. We support coordinators, those who shape, before disseminating to other people. Yes, only 8 responses as we are rounding up. If we have any questions, we are now coming to the end of this class. 9, 10 responses. Thank you. 11 responses. I'm curious about, I'm curious about what people say. Now that you understand, fantastic. Now that you understand the Belbin model, what mistakes do you think you made in your team in the past? Woo, we see people's strengths. Somebody said beautiful lessons. Somebody says member was equal. Task, rightly articulating idea, expectations, time management, being sociable. Somebody says they were not patient. This is really good. Lone Ranger. Sorry to see that. Impatience. I wish that I could copy this this word cloud. I'm sure I can, so that people will see some of the mistakes we made. Some of the mistakes we made. At least that would be good to see. All right. 13 responses now. Okay. Somebody talked about planning, assigning tasks. Those are some of the issues that they had. Let's go and look at what will you do differently. Somebody says good finisher. They are talking to me. Put the right people in the right places. You don't want to be distracted anymore. Complete finisher. I don't know how long we should wait before we close it. We'll give it 3 more minutes and then we'll call it a day. Thank you very much. 14 responses. Thank you, cohort 7. What a fitting way to end your curriculum at NLI. But I hope that we'll be able to come up with executive lessons like this to keep you connected. Because I know you miss us. I know you miss us, all right? 14 responses. All right, let's go back. Questions? Thank you to everybody. I will name you, those who have been here from the beginning. Father Willie, of course, Madam Deputy Governor, well done. You came early, and your video's been on since. May God restore you in Jesus' name. Adenye Kaban Woshiwoku, thank you for being a part. Madam Ishola, I will miss you, I confess, except you come and join NLI faculty or office. I'll miss you. Madam Chinwe, you were writing furiously. When your money comes, don't forget me. Dele Akinkumi, thank you. Aha! My Oga Provost, Chaplain, Pata Pata. I don't know where we will see, but God will help us to see. Madam Mojisola Garba, thank you for being a part of this. My learned colleague. You look like a lawyer every day of the week. What's the problem? Every day you'll be looking like a lawyer. You are Madam Lola Kolade, is you I'm talking to. There's no day you don't look like. I suspect you dress like a lawyer to judge. All right. Thank you for those who have encouraged. Governor Chinedu, thank you for being here from the start. A distinguished alumnus, Ario Babalola, thank you. My permanent secretary, Baba Femi Taro, thank you for joining us. Samson Kamoru, thank you also. God bless you. Let me put organizing secretary. Organizing secretary, don't run away from us. In the alumni
Thank you very much.
association. Senator Stephen Adetolu, you didn't deliver the webinar I asked for, but we have done this one today together. We've been a part. Thank you. And then somebody I call father, like Elisha called Elijah father. And many of them for me, Pastor B. Almona, thank you very much for being a part of this. Gloria Diakod was there, writing with a video on. Thank you very much. Olumide Oyeyipo, my person who is running away from me, thank you very much for being here. Dari Jeanette, thank you. Ayoko Ige was logged out, came in. It's been a great time. Nobody's asking any questions. Maybe it's a time to reflect. It's good, but more importantly, so what we will do, thank you also, distinguished alumnus, Ario Babaola. So what we will do is that we'll do a PDF of this teaching, and then it will be forwarded to you. I already even have the PDF version. Old Madam Deputy Governor responsible, if she doesn't send it to you by the end of today, old Madam Deputy Governor, I'm going to send it to her and I'm announcing it publicly. If you don't get the PDF, hold her responsible. Like I said, There's absolutely nothing stopping you from teaching this in your church, in your places of work. NLI will be glad to come and teach it in your churches, your region. We will come and teach it because we require it even for the workers' directorate. Pastors need to hear this. I personally, I fought with my pastor. I said, I'm not a pastor. I'm not going to plant a parish. Don't look at me as if I must plant. It's not going to happen. That's not me. If I'm a biblical character, I'm Paul. Okay, I'm not planting any. I'm not following anybody to plant church. Okay, it's important. We will only get the best out of people if we understand what God has called them to do and put a team together according to those. So thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. We'll be seeing around. Chaplain, sir, please go ahead. You have your hand up, sir.
I think the first slide.
Yes, sir.
That first one in particular, that's to me that stand out. Without that one, every other thing I don't think can connect.
Yes, sir.
The first one about that first piece.
Okay.
If you can break the inertia of that first piece.
Yes, I'm trying to
by the second, third, fourth piece, not be it. That many people get stuck in life and get confused. Many go rounding like in a maze. That first piece.
I agree with you 100%. Many of us don't even think that we should be moving forward. But we need to get to the point where we reflect, who am I? What are my dreams? Moses was in his old age, yet he was still going on because he knew who he was, even though we can claim he didn't finish well. But he was always a savior and he did what God wanted him to do. Anybody else?
Sir, can we just have that first one?
I put the slide there. I'm just not sure that is what you're asking for. I'm going to put it again. That's it.
Okay, please.
If you say the first slide, I'm putting it on the screen now. We're on the first slide.
Phase one, yes.
Oh, phase one.
Yes,
Okay, our phase one. Okay, let me put phase one there. That's it. Phase one is on the screen at the moment. You can take pictures if you like. You can take pictures if you want. Just put your camera in front of it.
You're not sending it to us?
Father, I'm sending it. I know you hold me. I'm sending it. I'm going to definitely send it. Yeah, so phase one, self-reflection and questions. Very important.
Thank you so very much.
God bless you, my distinguished colleagues. The joy is always to be able to share with others. That's actually what team is about. Okay, sharing knowledge is critical. Together we'll go far. God bless you. Thank you, Pastor Obi, one more time. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye.